Okay, I have a question, sir. How do I obey God's instruction even when I'm uncomfortable? And how do I come to the end of myself? How do I do how do I do nothing myself before God even when I have everything? Because I was reading Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. Okay, verse 3. I decided to check the Message Bible translation. Okay, Matthew 5 3. You are blessed when you are at the end of your rope. With less of you, there is more of God and His rule. So, how do I come to the end of myself? Yes, coming to the end of yourself is coming to the point where you believe that you can do nothing without God. Coming to the end of yourself is where you come to that point where, although you can, but you will not until God wants you to do it. Coming to the end of yourself is when we get to that point where, although we know we can do many things, but we will only do what God wants us to do. And then, obviously, if we don't come to the end of ourselves, we cannot really project God as we should, because we will not decrease for Him to increase. Are you there? So, most of the times, God will bring us to the end of ourselves. It is when we come to the end of ourselves, that period where we know that we can do nothing except God helps us. There's always that time in the life of a man where man gets to a point in his life and he says, okay, if God doesn't help me, I'm finished. Are you there? But there are two realities to that. Life can bring you to the end of yourself. Are you there? Life can bring you there. But it is better you allow the word of the Lord to bring you to the end of yourself. That one is more profitable, because if you allow life to bring you, to drive you to that point where you say, oh no, if God doesn't help me, I'm finished, then life would have made a very serious impact on you. You have a lot of injuries. So we must allow the word of the Lord to bring us to the end of ourselves, to bring us to that point where we say, okay, God, I surrender to you. Don't wait until you are beaten and battered before you now face God, before you turn to God. Are we together? So we have to turn to Him. Are you there? We have to turn to Him before it is too late. Let the word of the Lord turn you, not the situations of life. Because if you are waiting for the situation of life to turn you to God, it may happen eventually, but before it happens, you will have incurred a lot of damage, a lot of pain, scars, and injuries. Are you there? So the word of the Lord must turn us. So coming to the end of yourself is coming to the point where you see God as the head and you see yourself as a part of the head. That was the point where John came to. He said, I must. It's a must. It's a necessity. I must decrease for him to increase. Only a man that has come to the end of himself can say that. Because every man naturally wants to show. Every man naturally wants to shine. So to say that means that you have agreed uh to go off the scene so that Jesus can be seen. And the funniest thing is, physically you are the one on the scene, but you must maintain a position that even while you are on the scene, only Jesus is seen. Yes, that's a sign to show that you have come to the end of yourself. So coming to the end of yourself may not necessarily mean that you have become hopeless and then useless. No, it's just coming to a point of a sincere and a genuine acknowledgement of the place of God in your life. A point where you sincerely acknowledge the place of God in your life as number one, not even number two or one and a half. Amen.